She's UFC flyweight contender Mariah Agapova. So she's actually in dire distress as her financial situation has plummeted due to lack of activity in her MMA career.
What?
Yeah, bro. It's crazy to think that someone signed to a premier combat sports media, whatever that you want to call it, right?
Industry, yeah.
It's
industry
the top.
is in that situation, and it just like UFC still pays their fighters like the bare minimum. Like it's not.
It's messed up.
Something I've heard with that as well. They sign a lot of guys, and they don't give them fights either. And like they're sitting on a 3-fight deal, but they might go 18 months without a fight. And then, like if your tool of the trade is punching somebody in the face, like how you supposed to make a living if you're not going to get booked? Like, I think that's probably changed now because they're doing a lot more. Is it the Friday night fights on ESPN they're doing now? And
they're
doing a lot more like TV style things.
They have one every week. They were bombing when they were doing regular TV plays recently.
They definitely need to be getting paid more because I'm pretty certain there's a huge pay gap between the guys and the girls, and obviously that's not okay. Like if women are performing at the highest level, they should be getting paid, the same sort of deals. Again, I don't know how it works with like merch and all that sort of stuff, but it's messed up when you see that sort of stuff, man. You hear about the pays and stuff like that, and you're like, how the hell? Even like some of the guys, like I remember, was it Cowboy? Cowboy was just taking fights purely for a paycheck, like weeks
45 grand.
Yeah, if that, like
Yeah, but to an extent, I do understand it as well because some of those fighters aren't draws. Like
no, and I understand that.
Like a lot of the guys, I think it was something leading into when who was it? Sasha Banks she wanted Charlotte Flair money.
Yeah,
and it was like, well, not all these women are a draw like Charlotte Flair is. Charlotte's people want to watch her wrestle. They want to watch her Ronda Rousey. They want to watch her fight. Holly Holmes. They want to watch her fight. Some of these other guys, unless you're a household name, you're not going to be a draw, and you're not like. Your paycheck,
and I think
your paycheck shouldn't relate back to that. But if you're not going to make money for the company, then
Charlotte Flair's a guaranteed Mania main eventer too.
I think it's okay
every time. I think it's me. 1 second.
I think like as far as like the gender pay gap in sports, the belief is you should be getting paid what you're worth. You should be getting paid what you return in. And if you look at, let's say, the NBA and the WNBA, for example, right?
Yeah.
The WNBA, like their profit is in the billions, right?
Yeah.
And the WNBA is in the minus millions, right? It stays afloat because the NBA pumps money into it. Yeah. And the WNBA, like, athletes are saying they should be paid on the same level as the NBA athletes. That to me is a ridiculous statement because that is yes, they're doing the same job, but they're not performing at the same level.
Yeah, no. And like I remember when Ronda Rousey got interviewed when she fought Holly Holmes, and they said the same thing. They're like, "Oh, Holly's getting a much smaller pay purse than you. What's your thoughts on that?" And she turned around and said, "I'm the one that puts bums in seats. I'm the draw." Like. And that's fair. She's like, yeah, I agree that women should be getting paid the same amount, but I'm the one that's making the money for the company. I'm the one that Dana's trusting.
Isn't it weird?
Like she's not getting paid the same as what Ronda was, but as soon as she knocked Ronda out, I'm guessing her pay went from here to here.
Yeah, it didn't go to Ronda level, but it was.
Yeah, you make more money. It's one of those things. You beat a draw, your pay goes up.
Yeah, but then she got choked out by Misha Tate 3 months later, and you know what I mean. Like the hype train was ended, but it just goes to show that fight game is on another level, man. You can't.
Also, they're holding McGregor hostage too. That's the weirdest thing about it, right? Like even at the top level, they are willing to sacrifice McGregor pay if they're going to get 5 more.
Yeah, but McGregor doesn't need the money, man. He's set.
He is set, but the thing is as well, like if he was to go do a boxing fight, that's hundreds of millions of dollars in his pocket.
Yeah,
If he goes and does a UFC fight, 10 million, maybe, maybe
well,
10 to 30.
Is he set though?
He's booked for July, isn't he?
Nah, I don't think he's booked for July now, but I don't know if he's completely set. That cunt lives fucking dangerously, bro. Like he lives like Lamborghini yacht.
His money as well. He's just invested in the bare knuckle thing and put his name behind that as well. He's got his whiskey brand. He's got a couple of pubs as well that are making a lot of money. Like,
plus, we'll never know how much he actually made on the Mayweather fight either. Like they said that from the pay-per-view buys of that fight alone, like we'll never know how much he actually made.
I think he got fucked on that deal there too.
Really?
In saying that, you look at that Mayweather fight. I'm pretty certain Mayweather said, "Thanks to me, you are now getting your highest payday." Because I think the most he was making was like $2 million in UFC, and then he does the Mayweather fight and he gets like 20 million,
like 100 million or something.
100 million,
yeah.
Because he got a piece of the gate, he got a piece of the pay-per-view revenue for that. And you got to think at the time that by far was the highest anticipated, boxing match the world had seen at that level and in that spectacle. But when you look at it, UFC is way more over than boxing is. But in the also on the grander scheme of things, boxing is still the ultimate payday and the ultimate draw. That's when like Anderson Silva and Tyrone Woodley go in there and take that payday against Jake Paul. To be honest, I still think a couple of those fights would definitely, people were paid to be lay down Larry for that night. I just don't think that Paul at that stage was capable of knocking out someone like a Tyrone Woodley. And to me,
I think you're wrong.
That shows. I've said before is like there's so much corruption in the fucking world of boxing,
man.
And it's just so easy to see.
There's no. I think you're wrong. I think he fucking did knock him out. I think the guy's had 3 years of great coaching.
Dude, he's lived a comfortable life as a boxer, bro. You know what I mean? Like for him to, he's a good fighter. Believe me, I watch his fights now and see his stuff. He is a great boxer. But I think if he was to go to that upper echelon, he needs to escape, training in Puerto Rico around all of his boys and all that sort of shit. Go and train. I've said it before. Go and train with like a fucking Freddie Roach, who's going to sit there and go like not take. It's time for your social media bullshit. No, you're here to train. And what I mean. So we can train.
He's turned around now and says he wants to fight Canelo. Like, mate, don't get me wrong. Like we all as wrestlers, we all want to wrestle The Rock or John Cena, but like you've had less than 10 fights, and you're calling out probably the greatest pound for pound fighter in boxing history or in the modern boxing history. Like,
I think